Joe, Joe, thank you. Yes, I always forget to push that button that says start recording. I am recording now, and this is January 24th, and it is the RV Women Hangout that we have every Sunday. Hey! Oh, look who wants to be a man on our show. I don't think so. Move.
Yeah.
So Nana's Joy was just telling me that she is up in Orlando freezing, and she is not in an RV. She is in a hotel room, and she's probably pretty thankful for that. As of a few days ago, I was north of Orlando in Ocala, and one of the reasons why I wanted out of there was because it was too freaking cold. I just don't do cold very well, and so okay, I guess that's it. But apparently it's very cold in Orlando. Did you want to speak to that?
It is cold. We're walking around. Everybody's got their winter coats on. They got face scarves around their face. Everybody's hands are freezing. And we from here, we're in Port Orleans, they call it. And it's a river ride to downtown Disney. And it was cold.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Oh my gosh. So we're hoping that it warms up tomorrow, because it's going to be a long doggone day if it's not.
Well, it's supposed to warm up tomorrow through Wednesday, I think, and then Wednesday and Thursday, I think it's going to storm, at least down here. Now, what it's doing in Orlando, I have no idea. But,
I think it's supposed to warm up, but it is really cold tonight.
Well, I know. When I was in Ocala, my hose that feeds the fresh water froze.
Wow.
And so I had to wait for it to thaw out in order to have water. But then I figured out, I have a separate pump and a separate 40 gallons of water. And let's see if I can get that to work. And it hadn't occurred to me, honestly. So I learned something, which was very nice.
Yeah.
It's always good to learn anything. Anyway, our subject for today is not Disney World or the cold temperatures. It is life on the road. And right now I am in an RV park, and where I'm going to stay put for at least a month and a half. And but traveling here, and that's what I want to talk about, the actual traveling. There are things that you need to know. And Nana's Joy and I were talking the other day, and the one thing that we both agreed on were gas stations. It's really important to know which gas stations you can get in and out of. When you're cruising down the highway, you get to the point where you want to get some gas. And for me, that's a half a tank. And then I want to get gas. A gas station off the freeway is accessible to an RV or an RV towing anything. And when you can get in, but you might not be able to get out. And there's no backing up when you're towing. You don't get to back up. There is, you need a wide area. You need to be able to pull up to where your filler is, which is typically on the driver's side. I'm not going to say they're all on the driver's side, but they're typically on the driver's side. So sometimes you are waiting for the ability to get in and then the ability to get out. Now, when we were talking the other day, we were talking about flying J's, which you'll see them off the freeway. Those are pretty good. They usually have big lots that you can turn around in and gas pumps that you can pull up to without any problem. Now, what was the other one that I said? See, I can't even think of what the name of it is.
Pilots and Loves.
Oh, yeah, Pilots and Loves. It's hit or miss. Typically, Pilots has, and Loves have, well, no, just Pilots. They have a separate place for semi-trucks where they can get their diesel, and then they have the other area, which is for gasoline. And the difficulty lies in their setup, which is you pull in, and then the convenience store part of it is in front of you, and people park in front of you. And if they park you in, you have to wait until they come out in order to move. And now, see, I avoid those now. That doesn't work for me. That's, that could put me seriously behind. And just pull in, get gas, get out. Go to the bathroom, get out. I mean, and when I say go to the bathroom, I mean in my bathroom. And then get out. I'm not going to shop in there. I'm not going to go and use their bathroom for any reason. But I think that it's important for everybody to know, to figure out when they see a gas station, how they're going to get in and then how they're going to get out.
Yeah.
And it's time consuming, and it's actually, it causes me anxiety. Does it cause anybody else anxiety? I hate it.
We're very, very careful. I mean, we scope it out before we pull in, because once you're in, it could be a Chinese fire drill trying to get out.
Yeah. And automobile drivers are not friendly to your plight.
No.
They are friendly to not having to walk very far in order to get to the convenience store to get their pop so that they can get back in the car and keep driving.
Right.
And God forbid they're in there using the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, they're travelers too. I totally get that. But again, they're not looking out for you, the RVer.
Right.
So that's something that you really have to pay attention to, is not only the price of the fuel, but how you're going to get in and out. Yep. The other thing that I found are the rest areas. They are not all alike. I have found rest areas that have nothing at all. It's just a place to pull over and park. It's the rest areas I find are either before or after the truck weighing scales, and typically before. And the reason for that is for the truckers to be able to pull off the road and abide by the law and get some sleep. And so they need some place to park. So when you see that, if you're looking for a rest area, when you see that scale, you might want to look a little harder. The other thing that you can do is on a map. All my maps are paper maps. And they actually show you, okay, I get mine from AAA, and they show you where the rest stops are.
Right.
And they actually have designations for, like, full, all the services offered, whatever that may be, the vending machines. they have those on the map. So you can tell what it is that you want to do or how far it is. That's the other thing that's really important is how far is that? I think most RVers who are traveling know that they have to get into a rest stop, probably like 5 o'clock at the latest, because they fill up. And and I've seen them full. And there are places to illegally park, but you don't want to do that because then some highway patrolman knocks on your door and says, "Hey, no," and then you've got to move on. The other thing about rest areas is sometimes they will have a dump station. And if you are traveling down the road, a lot, you might need to dump a tank or two. And you might want to look. Now, what's interesting is they don't advertise it. It's typically when you're on your way out, and it will be I find it to be on the passenger side. And if you look for it, they are there, but you have to look for them. Now, I have not run into a rest stop that has potable water. Have you?
No. And the other thing I wanted to tell you, we stopped at a rest stop north of Macon.
Yeah.
I've never seen this anywhere else. And as you pull in, it says cars this way and trucks that way.
Right.
There was a circle drive off of that came around, and you could camp, pull over with your RV and sleep.
I saw one of those in Texas.
I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, I saw one in Texas, and it was the same deal where the truckway, and then there was a turnoff, and it says RV parking. And, you just pull up to the curb, and it's just another street to get out. But, you might want to look. And when you find one, make sure you star it on your map. So if you're ever going by that way again, it's
right.
It's there.
That was interesting. I just happened to look, and I saw a motorhome back there, and they had their lights on, and I could see in there, and they were just pulled over, and it said they could camp there.
Yeah. And they're nice. Yeah. It's the one that I saw was beautiful. Nice grassy areas, and plenty of places to go and walk and potty your animal, and it was fabulous. The other thing about rest stops is some of them have security, which means there's somebody sitting in a little booth, basically with a radio, I suppose, and they can call if there's any trouble. Those make you feel a little more secure than the ones that don't have that. Right. But what I've seen, especially in Florida, is that the rest area actually says that before you pull in, security area or something of that ilk.
Right.
And I've seen that in Florida. I don't remember. I know in Texas they had some pretty nice rest stops, and only I think one that I went into had security. But it was nice. Yeah, it's nice to have security. People don't take your tires while you're sleeping.
Well, that's an advantage, I think. People that own motorhomes, trailers, they have to get out and go back. But I mean, for us, we can pull in right next to the trucks and then not even leave our vehicle and go to the bathroom, get a drink, whatever we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is an advantage over trailers. Yeah. To have to leave your tow vehicle alone at a rest stop, basically, while you sleep in the camper, you don't know what's going on. And the other thing, of course, is don't leave your valuables in a viewable place.
Right.
There are a lot of desperate people out on the road, and yeah, if there's no security, there's no reason why they wouldn't break your window, take whatever, and then,
Right.
get on the freeway again.
Well, the way yours and mine are set up with the bedroom in the back, we can get away with very minimal light. Go back there and sleep. They don't know. They can't see in there. Even if you don't pull the curtain, they can't see in there.
Right. And I have they're called Himalayan lamps. And it's a Himalayan salt lamp. And basically, I use it to always have a light on in the event that just a little glow, just so people understand I'm in there, and don't mess with me because I'll pull out my Smith & Wesson. Okay, I don't have a Smith & Wesson. I'd like to have one, but no, I don't have one. Let's see. The other thing is running into construction on highways. Now, when I traveled down from Ocala to where I am now, which is in Fort Myers, Florida, the entire 75 was nothing but construction.
Yep.
And what a nightmare. And nobody slows down, which I think is fascinating. I mean, I don't slow down. I usually am only traveling at 60 or 63 miles an hour, and it's on cruise control. So, I'm not really worried about getting a speeding ticket, but you'd think other people would be. But lots of cops around that area. And there are people, and you have to watch out for them. And there are times that they will stop traffic. And if you're trying to make a destination, I'm sure that there's an app for that. I want to avail yourself of that. Now, Google Maps does indicate that there is construction. And, and it works it into your time of arrival. So, you'll go from 70 miles an hour to 60. And it doesn't sound like much, but it can put you behind if the cars are all doing the correct speed limit. Let's see. Anybody have any questions so far? Is anybody awake out there?
They're quiet.
I know I could use a nap.
Yeah, they're quiet tonight.
Yeah, they are quiet tonight. If anybody has any question, or if anybody wants to be on the panel who is a woman, you're more than welcome to come on and ask your question and stay or not stay or whatever you want to do. The other things that I wanted to talk about when you are booking reservations at an RV park. Typically, they take your reservation. Sometimes they ask for a credit card. And then the reason they're doing that is because if you don't show up, they're going to charge you for overnight stay. Some of them in Florida, there have been a lot of places, but for some reason in Florida, it really hit home for me, is that once you pay them, this is a non-refundable amount of money. So, for example, I'm here until probably the end of March. Now, when I pulled in, I told them that I was only going to pay them. They wanted me to pay them until the end of March. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I will pay you, for the what's the remainder of January, and then all of February. And then, I'll pay you if I choose to stay after that. And it's important for you to know that these RV parks, as friendly as they are and as friendly as the staff seems to be, they have volunteers or work campers that are manning that desk, and they're going by the rules that are set down by the ownership. And if the ownership says it's not refundable, then it isn't. And that's what they'll tell you. They'll look at you like there's nothing I can do, which typically there's nothing they can do. So you want to be real careful and know when you're booking an RV stay what the rules are for canceling. Typically, if you cancel 24 hours in advance, there's no charge. This campground that I'm in now, I had to, and they only take cash or checks. Interesting. And I have, a few checks with me, so that's really not a problem. But I had to mail them, when I made the reservation, a $50 deposit that was non-refundable. But it's supposed to be applied to my last month's stay. So, they're all different. I've stayed in a lot of them. All of them are different because the last RV park you stayed in, the washers and dryers were only $1, whereas here, the last place I stayed, the washer and dryer was $1.75 per load. That's cheap.
Is it? I've paid a lot more.
Oh, really? I'm unfamiliar with the cost of laundromats. And so this place charges $2 a load. So, sometimes the dryers will be get to whatever time you want. Sometimes the dryers are, you pump in $1.75 for an hour, for example. And if you want to extend that time, then you can pump in quarters sometimes. But let's all remember, somebody is making money off the laundry machines. And so, they're not inclined to give you any money back because of one thing or another.
Have you ever considered buying those little portable washers, the little, how they call them?
Yeah. The swishy ones?
They'll wash them and then they'll spin it out, but then you have to hang up.
Right. And the difficulty with drying your clothes in your RV is the temperature in your RV. And, if you're going to run your air conditioner all the time, you can pretty much figure that your clothes are going to mold before they actually get dry. Yeah. If it's too hot in the RV, sure, they're going to dry, but, you're basically going to cook in there, and the evaporation is going into your RV.
Right.
And that's real important, too, because you really want to eliminate any kind of evaporation in your RV. The other thing that on that subject is when you're traveling, it's happened to me mostly when I've been traveling, and I will open up my draperies so that I can leave, and my window's wet on the inside. Okay. Now, you might think, I'll just turn on the defrosters and it'll blow it all away. Well, what it's doing is evaporating inside your RV. So take a few minutes, take a cloth or a paper towel or whatever, and dry that big window. I have a Class A, so I've got the big windows. And, take a few minutes, because that's all it takes, and get the condensation out of your RV. Because condensation will just kill you. And that's whether you're parked or, just overnighting and traveling on the road. Anybody have any questions yet?
Haven't seen any out there.
Oh, again.
Cats got their tongue.
Yeah, I guess so. The other thing is, here we have one. I'm so excited. Let's put the question up. There it is. My husband and I have a dream of RVing across the country in the future. What made you guys decide to live the RV life? Because it's really fabulous. Okay. I think that there are people who are cut out for a gypsy existence. They're fine with it. There are people that aren't. They take their RVs or whatever, fifth wheels, whatever their RV is, and they go park in a RV park or a mobile home park, and they just set up shop there. The reason that I love RVing is because, working and being a mom and doing all the things that you have to do that keep you in one place, didn't allow me, even if I did travel during work, didn't allow me to actually see anything. I was there in business. So I would basically not see anything. And RVing affords you the opportunity to see things that you want to go see before you're dead. And that's what I have a gypsy soul. So for me, this is ideal. And I get kind of the travel itch if I stay any place too long.
Yep.
I just want to go away. I just want to drive. And in traveling as a couple, you have to make sure that you are both on board with that. That's really important because it can't be one person's dream and the other one is not having the same dream. And in which case, then there's a conflict, and that's not any fun at all. I travel alone, just if anybody wanted to know. I travel by myself, and I go wherever I want, and have a good time doing it. I meet people in RV parks that are interesting, entertaining, nice, nice people. And I don't feel at all in fear of anything. It's actually really fun. What are your comments on that? Nana's Joy?
I like it. Mainly because you can take your time, and there's so much to see in this country. And you hear about the big places, but there's all kinds of these little places that you just
so true.
If you go someplace, like you travel and do 50 miles or something, and then you stop and you have your vehicle and you tool around and you see stuff. There's stuff to see in this country.
Yeah.
That it's no advertisement, no anything, that is so joyful and so beautiful half the time. It's just well worth it. And then when you get to these places, people in the RVing community are so open and so friendly, and they'll help you.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a question or anything, they like to share. And I just nowhere else. You can't travel in a hotel and get that same vibe.
Uh-uh.
You just don't.
Nope, you really don't. The other thing that's nice about traveling with an RV is you're making your own schedule.
Yeah.
So it allows you, in my example, I will put myself up there. I drive for a little bit, maybe 50 miles, and then I find someplace to stay. Typically it's an RV park, but it can be, rest stops or whatever. It doesn't make any difference to me. But, oh my God, I just lost this whole thread. Yeah, that's gone. Yeah, I have no idea what I was going to say. But Nana's Joy is right. There are so many towns to see and museums to go to and, just oddities. If you're into oddities, there's so many caves to go see and trails to walk.
It's beautiful. And
it's just endless.
My husband and I we flew out to San Francisco for an event, and then we hung out for a while, and we just rented a car. We didn't have an RV with us, but we drove up the California coast. We didn't know. We're just heading towards Oregon. We had a week, and we didn't even know where we were going to stay, what we were going to find. It was the best trip because we were going up, I don't know if that's one going up, but right.
Yeah, one.
And north of San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And we're driving around. It was gorgeous. And then it started to fog and come in on that curvy road. And I thought, oh my gosh, where are we going to stay? And we come across a little town called, I believe it was Tamale. You probably have been there. But a little town, and it had a store and a gas station and a store and a cafe. This one was on the one corner was a hotel, so to speak, and it had a deli off of the back side of it. And it was very sparse inside. You got a room, you got a bed, you had a closet thing that was a cabinet that you hung your clothes in. They served you cold cuts in the morning, but if you didn't like that, you could cross the street and there was a 5-table little cafe that you could go eat breakfast. And then we walked to the Four Corners and we went back to the deli, and the man back there must have owned the hotel too, but he said, "Where are you going?" And we said, "We don't know, we're just going up the coast." "Oh," he said, "you got to stop at Goat Rock." And so we said, "What's Goat Rock?" "Well, that's where the sea lions hang out and whatever. And we had picked up sourdough bread at San Francisco. And he said, "Well, you got looking for some cold cuts?" I said, "Yeah." So we got cold cuts and cheese. He threw in the condiments, gave us paper plates and plastic forks, and told us where to park and everything. And he was just delightful. We went up there, and that was the best place. And you just run into people like that if you take your time. And that's what you do in the RV.
Yeah, and I found my thread. The thread came back to me. What I was going to say is, for longer, when I'm traveling great distances, I'll pull into a rest stop and take a nap. Yeah. I like it. And there, I'm in my house.
Yeah.
So, I can have a little something to eat and lay down, take a nap and then get up and keep going.
Yep.
I don't travel in the dark. I don't travel after it gets dark, or the gloaming. I really hate that part. The twilight, I guess is probably a better word. And, but it makes traveling so much nicer. To be able to have your own bathroom is
right.
Wonderful. To know that there are no bed bugs in your bed. Yeah, great thing. Now when you check into hotels, you don't know. It is a crapshoot. And some of the finest hotels, have bed bugs. So you really have to be aware of that. And I'm just phobic enough that, I can't stand that. And as far as card road trips, my daughter and I did that. We drove up the southern part. We drove up to San Francisco and then cut across and then came down the other side and saw the, redwoods and Sequoia National Park and, all of those things. And it was a fun adventure for my daughter. And plus she just really likes room service. So, she got to do that and that was fine.
Yeah.
And, we just didn't have anything to do. So I said road trip. So again, gypsy soul. And as far as, knowing where you're going to end up, if you're just traveling, again, check your maps to see if there are any rest areas, or pull into an RV park and just ask them if they have any accommodations for the night. And, and it works out great. I've traveled extensively in this less than a year, with no reservations, and have had absolutely no trouble at all getting into an RV park. And a lot of the state parks actually, they get booked, but sometimes you can pull into a state park and they have, some space that you can be in. It's just a matter of just asking them nicely. Well, you must have something. You must know where I can park somewhere. Whine at them. They're very helpful.
Do like you do. Don't you say so-and-so down the road said you had a place for me.
Oh, yeah. When I call RV parks to find out if, they have any reservations, I always say, hey, I was just talking to another RV park and they said you have openings. How many do you have? And when I called about this one, and everything was booked. Everything. And not only that, booked, and even if they had openings, and they're booked until April, and even if they had openings, it was $1,500 a month plus the cost of your electricity. Most of them had it metered. And they did not promise you Wi-Fi. Okay.
Right.
So, if you're close to where it is, or if you want to go sit near the office or whatever, they've got it. And, those are important. But when I called this guy, I said, another RV park said that you have availability. And he said, yeah, how many sites do you need? And this is peak season in Florida. And this guy had availability. It's kind of a different kind of RV park, but it's real interesting. I like it. Let's see. Let's go and take this one down and bring another one up. Do you have your own Wi-Fi or do you use satellite? I have. Okay, it's plugged in. Let me unplug it. I have a Verizon, it's called an Eclipse, something. And this is what I do is I prepay. I don't have an ongoing contract with them. But what I do is I buy 10, sometimes 20 gigabytes a month. And that allows me to be on the internet securely any place that I am that will get a Verizon signal. And that was the next thing. And so this is very timely because that was the next thing on my list, is that when you go to these rest stops or you go to these campgrounds, sometimes you're not going to have the signal available to you.
Right.
Okay. And that's something to really, really consider depending on what you do. Now, for me, I am working and full-time RVing, and there are other people that are working and full-time RVing. Now, I don't work a lot, but I work some. But when I am working, I know I have to be in, have the ability to have my phone and have Wi-Fi. So these things, if that is something that's important to you when you're making your reservation or when you're traveling down the road, you know, find out how far you are from the next big city, because that's probably where your Wi-Fi is going to come from. And then, you know, park accordingly. There are a lot of full-time RVers that go to like the McDonald's, and libraries are always good for internet, free internet. You can sit out in your RV in the parking lot with most libraries and pick up the signal. Let's see, what else? There are a lot of places. I think Starbucks has internet. Yeah, they do. And there are a lot of places to get free signal. But of course, that's not a secure signal. Okay, and your computer should say, this is not a secure network, or other people can see what you're doing. I don't know how they see that, but apparently people have that skill. I do not. So subsequently, the things that I have to do sometimes require me to have a secure signal, and subsequently my little Wi-Fi thing. There are a lot of different companies offering this kind of Wi-Fi. You can get a contract, I'm sure, and that might be a little cheaper, but it is an expensive item that if you cannot write it off, I would think real hard about getting it. And just, you know, if you have a tow vehicle like I do, then just, you know, take off for a library or a McDonald's or a Starbucks or whoever, you know, little cafe. I've actually gone into little cafes and enjoyed a cup of coffee and a croissant and check my email. Now, would I check my bank account there? No, I would not. And when you're out on the road full time, there are places that you need to go that on the internet for private stuff. And so having access to your own Wi-Fi is a good thing. Now, there's a new one, and I can't think of what it's called, but it's on the Sprint system. If anybody knows what it is, let me know. I can't remember what it's called, but that is not a secured signal. Karma, that's exactly it. Karma. Thanks, RV or TV. That is not a private secure signal. That's a public signal, which means that the guy who's sitting next to you in his car can log on to your Karma account and check his email or whatever. That doesn't make me comfortable, so I'm out of it. I don't need internet that bad. I mean, I need private internet, and so I'm willing to pay the price for that. But it's supposed to be cheaper, and you know, if you just want to, I don't know, watch movies or something, I don't know what people do, you know, just be able to check your email, that it might be and or send email. that might be a good place to go. Karma is no longer unlimited. Now that's interesting because the last time I checked with Karma, it was, but that was around Christmas time. So they may have done that to just entice people. And used to be unlimited. Your phone, your smartphone can serve as a hotspot. So all you have to do is check with your provider to find out whether or not your phone can do that as well. I have an older iPhone. It doesn't do that. Or if it does, I don't know how to make it do that. And I like the separation. The other thing that it's nice for is I have an AT&T phone and Verizon for internet. And the reason I have Verizon is because you get nationwide coverage. AT&T, no. There have been many times when I've been able to get a Verizon signal, but I cannot get an AT&T signal. So I can't use my cell phone, but I can use the internet. And here is another idea for those people who are interested in full-time RVing. On Google, you can get a Google phone and a Google phone number. Basically, what that means is you go to Google, I think it's called Google Voice, and you sign up and they give you a phone number, and you can have people call that number, and it will appear in your email as a text message and also the recorded message. This comes in real handy when you are traveling and you're not someplace where there's cell signal. So that, if you're checking it once a day or whatever, you can check on, and once you get an internet connection, and people can call you there. So I have had a Google phone number for years. When they first came out, I got one. And I'm real happy with it. And I use it for the RV parks. When I am filling out registration, I put down the Google number. And the reason that I do that is because I really do not want marketing calls on my phone, my regular phone. Those marketing calls can go to email, and I can delete them there. I also use it for doctor's office appointments, and that's so I know that I don't miss them. And again, I do this because AT&T is so incredibly unreliable. And as is Sprint, as is T-Mobile, and the only one that really rocks all the way across the planet, or at least the United States, is Verizon. It really does work. Let's see. Has anybody asked any questions? Or I just changed it. Or, Two questions. Okay. So this one, satellite is supposed to be, is available. It's really expensive. And basically you have to know where the satellite is so that you can point your dish that's on top of your RV towards that satellite and subsequently get internet. And it's probably to the west. All satellite dishes, I think in America, point west. Maybe once you cross the Mississippi and go east, maybe they go east. I don't know. I know there are a couple satellites up there. But that is supposed to be just tremendously expensive and not fun. That I don't like spending money unnecessarily. Okay, if you have any more questions about that, Jess, just let me know. Answer the question. Let's go to the next one. 2 questions. how do you get mail, for example, if you order items from Amazon? And then do you have any advice on RVing with pets? Let's answer the first one first. The first one is, how do you get mail? Now, I have a home address in California, and mostly I receive junk mail there, and my daughter goes through it. Now, any bills or anything like that, that's all on the internet for me. Okay, so all my bills are automatically paid on whatever date, they said they're going to take the money. And it makes it so that really I don't have to get any mail. Basically, your mailbox is just full of bills and crap. So that eliminates that. And I guess that's about it. Having an address, though, is necessary for a lot of things that you're doing out on the road. Okay, so you're getting a reservation for an RV park. They want your home address. You can't write down, I'm a full-time RVer and I don't have one, because that makes them nervous. They don't want that. I always tell people I'm a full-time RVer, but, whatever. We're getting some feedback, and I think, Nana's Joy, it's coming from your direction. There's something on TV? Yeah. TV on? Okay.
Husband's making noise.
Oh, yeah.
Husband's fault.
Let's blame him. The other thing is Amazon packages. If you're staying at an RV park, obviously you can have Amazon send your package to that RV park. Amazon is offering also a locker pickup or a pickup place, and it's usually at those postal annexes or Mailboxes USA or something like that, and just a place where you can take delivery of your packages. I buy stuff on Amazon all the time, and typically I have it sent to wherever I happen to be. If it is something like I ordered something from Amazon and I knew I was going to be here, and so I gave them this delivery address and then told the people when I was making the reservation that some, mail or UPS stuff might be coming for me, and just set it aside and I'll pick it up when I get there. Usually they're very accommodating, and they have no problem with this. The RV parks expect this to happen. And all you have to do is just go to the office and check, and typically everything's very secure. I have been at RV parks where if you put your space number in, they'll actually deliver it to your space. So I always include my space number, so that if they want to drive it to me, good. But there is some security in having it delivered to the RV office, park office, because, why? Oh yeah, people don't steal it. If they just set it on my step out here because I'm gone, somebody could walk up and steal it. I really doubt that would happen, and it hasn't happened to me ever. And that's basically because people in RV parks, they get it. We're all in the same boat. We're all doing the same thing. As to, let's see.
Pets.
Okay. If you are boondocking and in the middle of nowhere, you can request Amazon send it U.S. mail, snail mail, and hold it for general delivery at the post office that is closest to your boondocking location. And, that works. Okay, second question. I hope I answered that adequately. Did I leave anything out? I don't think I did. Okay, do you have any advice on RVing with pets? Boy, this is just a long question to ask me. And if you follow my channel over on YouTube, you will know why that is. Basically, you will find that probably 60 to 70% of RVers have an animal with them, or a bird. And there are rules. All places have the rules, pick up the poo and leash. And some of the RV parks actually have fenced in areas for the dogs to run. Some of the RV parks offer a place to wash your animal, your dog, your cat, I guess your bird. And, if you're inclined to do that. and that's just something that you inquire, when you're making your reservation. You want to find out what their policy is on dogs. Some parks will not take any aggressive breed dog. And some parks won't take dogs that are over 40 pounds. And I've run into all of these. Some parks stipulate a 6-foot leash. You cannot use that one that lets them go, 15 feet or whatever it is. Let's see, what else? I guess that's about it. But you'll find that there are a lot of dogs. They basically, they take them out to potty, and they're little dogs, and they stay in their RVs. And if you walk by the RV, you're going to hear them barking at you. But as soon as you clear it, they stop. And, but if you're traveling with a pet, you're going to want to check out those things, as you're making a reservation, or if you just pull in. I've pulled into places where the dog I had was not permitted to be there. And so I just left because, there's another RV park down the road, and which makes it real easy. But yeah, you're going to find most people have a pet. I do not. Let's see. Did I answer that right? Oh, some RV parks don't mind if you put them out on an extended lead, but all RV parks stipulate that you have to be outside your RV when you're doing this, and your pet cannot be left alone outside even though it is tied up. Okay.
The park that I'm trying to get in for next year, you may not leave your pet unattended in or out of your vehicle.
Yeah. And, that doesn't work for cats, and that doesn't work for dogs. I mean, for birds of any kind.
Yeah.
So, and most of the RV parks that I have been to, with the exception of a few, don't enforce their rules, yet you sign something that says that you understand all the rules. And so if you cause any kind of trouble or anything like that, they can kick you out for a variety of reasons. Some RV parks stipulate that your RV cannot be over 10 years old. Okay.
Which is nuts.
Oh, it is crazy.
For the amount of money you pay for these things?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Some RV parks do not cater to RVs that are, like you made them, you got a chassis and you made an RV, or you put a little house on an RV and you pull it around. They won't do those. They won't rent to those. So hopefully I've answered both questions, and if not, just tell me, give you more. Okay, answer question. From Karen Goodman. Do you tow a small car? Yes, I do. How do you get around town once you get where you are staying for a while? I drive my small car. um, Many RVers do not have a tow vehicle. They bring bicycles, or some of them bring mopeds, or those motorized bicycles. It kind of is up to what you want to do, how far you want to drive when you get to a place, and how you want to get there. So and your finances, because towing a vehicle, you have to actually buy the vehicle, and then you have to have insurance on that vehicle, and blah 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 blah. It is a lot of people will tow. Now, my vehicle is a Suzuki Samurai, and I can tow that 4 down. That means 4 wheels on the ground. There are many vehicles that you cannot. So you have to purchase a little car trailer, and basically you put the 2 front wheels on it and then secure it, and then you just tow it. Yeah. And, that works. A lot of people walk, they park close enough to whatever it is that they want to see that they can walk to it. Then there's always public transportation, don't forget that. Depending on what you're doing, what you're seeing, and you're going to pay a premium to be near any attraction that you want to go to at the RV park. So, for me, I considered when I first thought, am I going to get a tow vehicle? What I was going to do, or what I did, was I bought a scooter. Okay, one of those scooters that are like, I don't know, they go like 55 miles an hour, and you have to have a license, and blah, 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 blah. You have to wear a helmet. And, that was fine, but then I realized that this was not my solution. And the reason it wasn't was because there was so much muscling to the scooter. Putting it up on the rack, getting it down. If it falls over, there are just a lot of things. Plus, you're driving most of the time in traffic that you're unfamiliar with. You're not familiar. You're out of your bubble. So you have no idea what that road leads to and where does that go. And, oh, that's a one-way street. Well, I need to go that way, but the opposite way. There are just a lot of things that, for me, made a scooter not a good idea. And so purchasing the Suzuki that has 4-wheel drive and whatnot will get me every place and out of every place that I want to go. So for me, that was my answer. But again, it's up to the individual. If you're a bike rider, then get a bike. And it will provide you a excellent resource for exercise. Okay. How do you get around town okay, got that. Staying for a while. I hope we answered your question, Karen. Thanks. Okay.
Okay. We got another one on there.
Oh, yeah. Karen? I see it now. Oh, wait a minute.
Karen's got another.
Yeah, I see that. I just have to get rid of this one, and there we go. Karen's next question is, do most RVers do it just part of the year and have a home they go back to, or are they full-time RVers? I don't know. I think that most people that are RVing today have a home that they go back to. And whether they do like 50-50. Well, you can speak to this, Nana's Joy. Sometimes you RV, sometimes you don't RV. And you have a home.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a home.
Yeah.
And we RV in the summer, either on a seasonal spot, or we'll put it there and then take a trip, then come back to the seasonal spot in the warm months. Next year, we're coming down with the RV to Florida, and so we'll be in it 4 months. But we've kept our home. So.
Yeah, now I'm a full-time RVer, but I do have a brick and sticks place that I can go to where my daughter and son-in-law live now. And but I can go there and, see how they're doing and get my mail or deal with stuff. And most of the legal stuff and accounting stuff and whatever is done back there anyway. So, a couple times a year I deal with that. But I would say the majority of RVers that you see, even in RV parks, are seasonal, not full-timers. Very rarely do I meet a full-timer. And I don't know if it's just because they don't want to admit it or whatever. I don't know. But I have yet to meet a full-timer. Everybody that I've met is seasonal.
I did meet some people when we went to Alaska. When we came back down into the States, they were work camping in the national parks. And then I said, how do you live like that? And he said, well, we go to Arizona in the winter, and we go up here and work in the summer. And I said, well, how do you see your kids? And he said, the kids are somewhere in between. So we see them twice a year. We go up and we see them. And we go up, and then we come down, we see them, and then we go down. So
yeah. The full-time RVers, the majority of which have some kind of home base. Whether that's a parent's house or a brother or sister or whatever, they have a home base. And you need that in order to exist in the world. You have to have a permanent address. So it is something that you should make sure you establish before you become a full-time RVer. And even if it's a postal annex address, something somewhere where it can serve as your permanent address. And, those companies, Mailboxes USA and all the other ones, they do offer a service where they empty your box once a week and mail it to you wherever you happen to be. So there's a solution to having the permanent status for a lot of people. Okay, hope we got that one, Karen. Thanks for asking. Okay, next question is from Jess Rossman for the full-time RVers. Where do you keep all your stuff from your home? Put it in storage, get rid of it. For me, I'm a full-time RVer, and what I did was what I did not put in this RV, I either gave to my daughter because she wanted it, or I had one garage sale, and that was just way enough for me. Basically, yeah, I called I think it was Disabled American Veterans and donated it all. And of course, I'm going to write that off on my taxes. But some people will get a storage facility, room, whatever, and put their stuff in. And those are typically people who aren't sure what they're doing. They're not fully committed to the lifestyle, so they want to keep that as their backup plan, that they can always return back and then have their sofa, have their, refrigerator, whatever people put in storage. True full-time RVers generally have no storage container or no storage things anywhere. You put it in, you hope you've gotten everything in that you're going to need. You're not necessarily going to get everything in that you want. But it's priorities, priorities, priorities. What's a priority for you? For me, it was my artwork. And it's in here. For others, it could be, I don't know, a recliner or something. I don't know. You just take out what they put in and put in what you need, and head on down the road.
Right.
But, you know, there's no real answer for this. It is whatever you're comfortable doing. And, you know, basically anything you have of value that pleases you, take it with you. Figure out how to get it in there. For some people, it's their dishes. For some people, it's their silverware. You know, who knows? Everybody's different. So, you know, whatever works for you. And some people use relatives, by the way, and they use like a, you know, I have known somebody who got a shed and put it in the backyard of their brother's house and put the stuff in there and then locked it so the brother couldn't get into it. So, you know, that's another thing to consider as well, is the security of whatever it is that you're going to store. But it's a big expense. Storage is a big expense, really, no matter where you are. I think I covered that one. Okay. So this one goes, and this one comes. Okay. Now that more people can work, this is from Karen Goodman, anywhere they can get internet, are you seeing more RVers who aren't retired yet? Both Nana's Joy and I are over in YouTube. And a lot of the people who come here for these Blab sessions are also on YouTube. And we make videos about our travels or about our repairs or about our, you know, good times, bad times, you know, good RV parks, bad RV parks. You know, we put these up in the form of videos on YouTube. There is a growing number of people, RVers, who, and they can be full-time, part-time, wannabes, doesn't matter, that are in the RV community over in YouTube. So if you want answers to things, go over to YouTube and put in your question. What kind of RV do I want? You'll get answers. You know, what do I do? How does the toilet work? You know, can I put, I'm trying to think of the name of a toilet paper. Can I put regular toilet paper down the toilet? The answer to that is no, you can't. You have to buy a 1-ply or barely 2-ply toilet paper that will disintegrate in your black tank. You can't shove Charmin down there because it'll make a big glob and then you've got trouble. So you need like toilet paper that disintegrates. There are just a lot of things that it was very helpful for me before I went full time to have many answers on YouTube, because on YouTube somebody owns the RV you have and they know how to fix it. And they've made a video showing you how to do it. Yeah. So, and that's really, really helpful. Was that, let's see. Oh, and to answer your question, yes. And go over to YouTube and you'll find a lot of full-time working, and put that into the description, full-time working RVers.
With kids.
Oh, some of them have kids. Yeah, some of them are single. Some of them are just couples. It just depends on what your interest is. If you're interested in knowing what it's like to travel with kids in an RV, then you know you'll find that niche in there. But it's a vast resource. over on YouTube. For us, the names that we have here, RV Lady and Nana's Joy, those are our YouTube titles. So if you wanted to go to our channels over there, you just type in our names and it'll take you there. But a lot of people are taking advantage of the freedom that RVing gives them because of the internet and when they're working. Some people are still living in RVs and have brick and mortar jobs. It just depends on what your interest is and how you want to pursue those. But there are a lot of retired people out there. But interesting about the retired people, they all have little things that they sell. Woodworking, they basically retired with a plan and they sell their wares, if you will, in RV parks. I was camped next to a guy who made airplanes out of soda cans and sold those for $5 an airplane. So, he picked up a little money on the side. Most of them will not be full-time RVers, and there are a lot of working RVers out there, and a lot of talented people. Okay, so we got that one, right? Good. Okay, so anybody else has any? Okay, got that one. Now, does anybody else have any questions? Because what we do is this is a 90-minute program. It doesn't go on and on and on. It is only 90 minutes, and so it ends at 5:30 Pacific, or is that right? Yeah, 5:30 Pacific or
8:30.
8:30 Eastern time. That's the other thing that's really hard about RVing is when you're going through time zones.
Yep.
Your phone will automatically pick up the signal in a new time zone and change your time. Your computer is something that you select in order to have the time zone that you want. My computer, for example, stays on Pacific time. My phone is in the time zone that I'm in. So, but when you're crossing those time zones, it can get a little confusing. For a lot of RVers, it doesn't really matter. For some RVers that are trying to make some kind of deadline or whatever, it becomes challenging. So, know in advance where the time is going to change and how or if that's going to affect you at all. That's about it. Okay, let's get back to, again, RV parks ask the questions. They've got the answers. And if you need assistance of any kind, typically RV parks will have people there that can assist you, in whatever it is that you're doing. I have no idea what that is, but I've pulled into RV parks where they want to put out the sewer hose for you and hook up your electricity and blah, 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 blah. And I say, no, thank you, but that's sweet of you to offer. And the reason I do that is because I don't know them. I don't want them touching my stuff. I don't want them screwing up my life. Okay. Back to the topic for the last few minutes that we have here is boondocking. Now, for some of you, you're not going to know what that is. Boondocking is going to an area that offers no amenities Okay. There's no electricity. There's no water. There's no dump station. There's no internet. But oftentimes the camping is free. And that's why a lot of people do it. Quartzsite, Arizona is a good example of a place that offers vast amounts of parking for free. They have time limits and things. Bureau of Land Management and USDA land also will provide space, but they have no amenities. Okay, there's no place to dump your tank. There's no place to plug into. So basically, you have to have one or both solar panels so that they recharge your house batteries in your RV, or you have to have a generator that you turn on and it produces electricity for as long as it's on. Okay, and will recharge your batteries. Other than that, you have to know before you tuck your RV into wherever it is it's going to be, how far everything is. You have to go for food. It's good to know if your boondocking location offers food within, 20, 50 miles. And some of those boondocking locations do not. You do drive 25 to 50 miles one way in order to get food. And then if you don't have a tow vehicle, how are you going to get there? So you have to take your RV into town, which you're going to have to do anyway because you need to empty your black and gray tanks. Your black tank is the sewer. Your gray tank is like shower water and the water that you use for dishes or washing your face or brush your teeth, that water. Now, I have not run into a state yet that permits you to just dump your tanks on the ground. There are massive fines for it. And I would suggest not doing that. Some people think it is okay to dump their gray tank on the ground. Once again, if you do that and you get caught, you are paying a big fine. What you're going to want to do when you're boondocking is plan these events. Plan getting food, plan and know where these places are before you boondock or before you put your mind to the fact that you're going to boondock in this particular area.
The other thing is they need to learn their RV because you need to know how long you can do that before you have to dump those tanks. It's the process of learning. You have to learn how much water you use and how long it takes to fill that up so that you can do that. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Now, for example, what I do is my gray tank, so the shower and the washing my hands and things like that, that tank fills up way faster than the black tank, which is the sewer tank. So in that my toilet is next to my shower, what I do is I put the plug in the hole for the shower, and then when I'm done, I bucket that water into my sewer tank or my black tank. That extends my ability to stay out longer without having to dump my tanks. You probably are going to figure out when you need to dump those tanks. There are indicators in your RV that may or may not work. Okay. So you just have to know by time and usage. I know that I can take 4 showers and then I have to empty my gray tank. Okay,
Yep.
or, spoon it into bucket it into the black tank. These are things that you learn on the way. You can tell when your tanks are full by a lot of ways.
Open up your brain.
Yeah. Basically, your gray tank will come up the drain and typically in the shower. Okay. And it comes with an odor. You can smell it. It is, it's an odd smell. And then okay, go check the shower, go check the drains or whatever it is. At that point, you're kind of SOL. You've got to find some place to dump those tanks. Your sewer tank or black tank, again, you're going to be able to look down into the toilet and see the stuff coming back up. And, again, you're in trouble. You have to dump those tanks.
I do like you do. Only in the kitchen, I put a plastic tub in my sink, and I do my dishes, and then I pick the tub up and put it down the toilet.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to start doing that because I've got a couple of tubs, and one of them can do that.
Yeah.
A lot of the state parks do offer dumping of your tanks. Most times it will not be free. Most times you will pay some kind of entry fee to go and dump and fill up with water. And so you need to keep that in mind. I know California, it runs anywhere between $6 and $8 to drive in and dump your tanks. And fill up with water. And you'll find as you travel that there are a variety of places that water is a premium, like in Florida, like in California. Water is a premium. And God help you if you have a drippy intake for your equipment bringing water into your RV. Those are all things that should not drip, should not leak. And if they are, then action needs to be taken. And in a lot of RV parks, they'll charge you. Oh, here's another thing they charge for, and some of them don't permit it at all, which is washing your RV. Getting the bugs off your windshield and, the front of your RV. Some will make you pay because water is a premium. Some don't care. And, or you could ask for forgiveness. Just do it. And then if somebody says something, you can probably ask for forgiveness and, pay the money, whatever it is. State parks, you're not allowed to wash your vehicle in. Just thought I'd throw that in. Yeah, the state parks are, and they're rigid in everything they do. If you're at a state park and they say that the quiet hour starts at 9:00, your generator has to be off. And then you got to be ready to sit out by the campfire or something else, go for a walk or go to bed or read. You can always read. I like to read. So that is it. We are at 5:30 Pacific time and 8:30 Eastern time. And so this is where we say adios. Now we do this, for those of you who don't know this, we do this every Sunday except for holiday weekends. And sometimes somebody will have something, on a holiday weekend. Again, we're here same time, same place, typically, every Sunday. And on the East Coast, it allows you to watch Downton Abbey. You'll go over to YouTube, and some of the chats are endless. They go for 8-10 hours. And that's not the case with us. So If you have any questions, save them for next week. And I thank you very, very, very much for attending the RV Women Hangout for Sunday, the 24th of January. And you can learn more about us over on YouTube. And, well, crap, I just got here. I'm really explicit on the times. 4:00 Pacific, 7:00 Eastern time, and you guys in the middle just figure it out. Sorry, yeah. Trailer Sin 1. Next week, next Sunday, we'll be here.
Yep.
Okay, bye everybody. Yep. Oh, and for people who have missed it, like Trailer Sin 1, you can see the full broadcast over on my YouTube channel tomorrow, and you can sit there and watch it. And that's at RV Lady over on YouTube.com. And again, thank you so much. Very nice chat, and I look forward to doing it again next Sunday. Thanks, Nana's Joy, for coming on. And again, if you want to come on to be, like Nana's Joy and I, videoing, you're more than welcome as long as you are a woman. That's it. Okay, thanks. Y'all take care and remember to be brave. Nana's Joy, do you have something to say?
I enjoyed it. Had a great time. Hope you all come back next Sunday. We'll be here. I don't know what the date is. They're saying January 31. I don't know if that's true or not.
Whatever it is, we will be here. And again, same time, same place. And you can find us on Blab by just typing in RV Women Hangout. Okay, thanks all. We got to go. We're 3 minutes over. Take care.
Give me a call for coming up.
Okay, cool.
Yep. All right, bye-bye.